everybody. One of the best things that you can do to take care of yourself now and at any time is to practice mindfulness. So each week I'm going to be sharing a mindfulness lesson with you. And our first lesson is really just about what mindfulness is. And the definition of mindfulness is focusing on what is happening right now. Sometimes that's really challenging. I get it, believe me. But there are lots of benefits from mindfulness. So there are some key parts to a mindfulness practice. And the first one is breathing. So when you breathe, you need to make sure you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And really, sometimes mindfulness is just about focusing on that breath. Another part of mindfulness lessons is having a mindful body. So a mindful body looks a lot like whole body listening, which is something that we're very focused on at school. So your mind is thinking about what you're focused on. Your eyes can be open or closed. And if you keep them open, then it's good to maybe just look down at your lap or look down at your hands or a spot on the floor. So your eyes are opened or closed. Your mouth is silent. Your ears are listening to the sounds that you might hear around you. Your heart is open because for some people, mindfulness might be a little bit difficult or seem different than things that we're used to, and that's okay. And your body is still and sitting tall like a tree, almost like there's a string coming from the top of your head going up to the ceiling. Sometimes we'll use a chime or a bell in mindfulness, and there are some key words that we're going to be hearing about. So when do you think mindfulness could be helpful? I want you to think about that for just a second. I want you to get a thought in your mind about how mindfulness can help you. Okay. All right. If you're doing this lesson with somebody, I'd like you to take a second and to share with the person that you're with about how mindfulness or focusing on one thing at a time or that peaceful breathing could be helpful to you. So go ahead and take a second and share with maybe you're doing it with a sibling, a brother or a sister. Maybe it's a parent or a grandparent or whatever grown-up is at home with you. Go ahead and share. Good. I bet some of the answers that you came up with are that it can help you calm down when you're scared or stressed or angry. Mindful breathing can help you to calm down in any of those situations. Mindful breathing also helps you to stop and focus on what is happening. And sometimes that can give you enough time to make a good decision. It's also good and can help you focus, like if you have to take a test or in a sporting event. So mindfulness has a lot of positives that you can use either in school, during sports, lots of different things. So there's a lot of science behind mindfulness as well. And one of the things that scientists believe is that it only takes about 15 seconds. That's it. To change your thinking and to refocus to where you want your brain to be. And we actually have 3 different parts of the brain. Lots of parts of the brain, but 3 main ones that we're going to talk about. So the first one is the prefrontal cortex, and that's right here in the front of your brain. And that's a really important part because that's where all of your learning takes place. So every time you learn something new in a sport or dance or cheer, your prefrontal cortex is the part that you want all of that learning to take place. We also have something called the hippocampus, which is deep in the center of your brain. And the hippocampus is kind of like the library or like a filing cabinet for everything that you learn. So when you learn something in your prefrontal cortex sends it deep into the middle of your brain to the hippocampus, and the hippocampus saves it. It's kind of like the save button on your computer. The third part of the brain that we're going to talk about is the amygdala. And the amygdala is at the very back, the lower part of your head and where your head and your neck connect. And the amygdala is the part of the brain that makes really fast decisions. And sometimes we need that. So for example, if your parent or a grown-up was driving and someone started to come over in their lane, the amygdala is what tells that person who's driving very quickly, oh, I have to move over a little, or I have to slow down. So sometimes your amygdala is very important to keep you safe. And that's really what your amygdala focuses on, is keeping you safe. But sometimes it gets mixed up. And the amygdala thinks that just a regular everyday thing is something that it needs to keep you safe from, and it makes you make decisions really fast. And sometimes those quick decisions aren't the best. So for example, let's say you're at home and you're walking down your hallway and your brother or your sister bumps into you as you're walking past each other. Maybe the same thing if you're walking down the hall. So they bump into you, and your amygdala might make a really fast decision that they did it on purpose and they were trying to hurt you, when really it was just an accident. So sometimes we want to get our thinking out of the amygdala and into the prefrontal cortex. And the easiest way we can do that is by taking 3 mindful breaths. So we're going to go ahead and practice that. So I want you to sit tall like a tree. You can either close your eyes, or if you keep them open, look at your hands in your lap, or look at a spot on the floor. Sometimes people like to sit crisscross applesauce and rest their hands like on their lap. You can do that also by just sitting in a chair and either rest your hands on your lap facing up, or just kind of put them gently in your lap. So if you're going to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 mindful breaths. First, we're going to breathe in through our nose. Breathe out through our mouth. Remember, your breathing is silent. Your body is still. And take our second breath. Breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Nice job on keeping your breath silent. Okay, last one. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. Excellent work. So that didn't take us very long. Remember, we talked about 15 seconds. That's it. 15 seconds to help switch your thinking from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex, where you can make really good decisions. So if you're feeling scared, anxious, maybe confused, maybe you're doing some work on your distance learning and you're stuck on a problem, just stop, get into your mindful body, and just take 3 breaths. What's great about that is that you can do them anywhere because it's quiet. So it won't interrupt other people who are maybe working from home right now or doing other school learning from home. It won't interrupt anybody. So I want you to practice this week, taking 3 mindful breaths. And then we'll come back together in a week or so, and we'll do another mindfulness lesson. All right, remember to practice 3 mindful breaths and stay #SummitStrong. See you soon.